Oh, I see Abe, I see Jeff, there's Gail. That's it.
No, we have Abe,
Hey,
Daisy, Jeff, Bob Ike.
Yeah, Barry, I'm right there.
Here he is. We got 6 of you.
Again.
Let me see what you look like, Ike.
Yeah, he did light up, didn't he?
must be
Bobby,
on the
you
phone.
there? He's muted. Yep,
Yeah,
he's unmuted.
yeah, I'm right there.
There he is. Bobby, that's not a surgical collar, is it?
No, it's just a turtleneck.
All right, so we've got 4 members.
We have 5. We have 6.
Who am I missing?
We have you, Daisy, Abe, Jeff, Bob Ike, and Gail.
Oh, Daisy hasn't shown up. Okay. I don't have her here.
I can see her. She's not, doesn't have her video on, but she's here.
Yeah, I see. Okay. Well, at 5:30, should we call this meeting to order?
So move.
Okay, let's go at it. Nancy, you've already taken the roll, I guess.
Yep.
So the next order of business would be approval of the minutes of 1:14. Can we have a motion to that effect?
So
There's
moved.
Daisy.
Second,
Moved and seconded. Any additions, corrections? Anything? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
I,
aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the minutes are accepted. Moving on, a project update from PDS. I see Scott is here.
Yep, good evening. So yeah, just talk a little bit about what happened last month and what we have left in front of us. But so the facilities maintenance room, basically that work was finished up, the dust collector, the painting. We pretty much got most of the punch list stuff done except for some of the exterior work, which we can't really do till spring. We've been turning in some closeout documents to the town, like operations maintenance manuals, and getting the rest of the items together so we could turn those in. We had an inspection yesterday. I was able to get Kimberly back on site yesterday. She was out for a little while, but she did a first walkthrough for the 3 remaining spaces that hadn't been turned over. So we got a few items to address as a follow-up to that walkthrough. And then we have a separate walkthrough next week with the electrical inspector on Wednesday, and we also have the fire marshal on Monday. So those couple more inspections for the building. And then that's pretty much what's been happening. And then as far as work coming up, obviously we had the work in the spring, which is going to be some of the punch list exterior work, the seating, the final survey, pulling out some fencing at the end, handling the underground storage tanks, contaminated soils. That work is tentatively scheduled for April. And that's pretty much what's coming up. I know John was going to come out. I don't know if that's going to happen tomorrow or shortly to do just double check off the punch list, the work that was done. Verify that's that's
So
complete.
play it by ear for tomorrow, depending on how the weather is.
Yeah, I was sure if that might change.
Yeah, if not tomorrow, definitely next week.
Okay.
But
Looks
Scott,
like it's
I'll let you know in the
snowing,
morning.
man.
Okay.
And Dan, same with you, because I don't know if you're going to be busy, if you're going to have a busy day or not, based on the snow forecast.
Yeah, if you can get here tomorrow, John, we'll be here, so.
Okay. But just depending on how the driving is, but I'll
Yep.
send out an email in the morning.
We'll be here. If you get here early enough, we'll cook you breakfast.
What's on the menu?
How early is that, Dan?
Okay,
we'll
any
be-
questions?
Probably around 3:00.
Okay. Okay.
Anyone have any questions for PDS on project
Yeah, Scott,
update?
Scott, can you talk a little bit more about the storage tanks? I didn't really
Sure.
get the full information because you were talking so low.
Oh, all right. I'll try and speak up a little bit, turn my volume up. So yeah, as far as the underground storage tanks, we are planning on doing the work in April, start at the beginning of April. As far as the process for that, right now we are, Weston and Sampson is working on a plan or an alternative plan on how to handle the contaminated soils with their team. So we're once they have some kind of plan or something, we can get some feedback on as to how to attack that and how to come up with maybe some budgeting or pricing to figure out what the funding is going to be needed to do this work, because that's going to be key in order to move it forward. Is there money for it, and can we quantify it and get some kind of idea on budgeting, which will be a little hard to do, but we'll do our best and try and get some information.
Yeah, I think to that point, you kind of stole my thunder, Jeff, on asking Scott, because I was going to talk about the underground storage tanks, but we do want to kind of identify, just in case, a funding source. I don't know how much, and once we get that recommendation, PDS will be able to give us a ballpark price anyway, just so we don't get into the ground all of a sudden and then we see, oh, we got contaminated soils, we don't have enough money in the budget, and we got to stop and find a funding source. I think it'd be prudent for us to kind of start talking about that now. We did receive a very basic schedule this afternoon from Scott in regard to how they're going to finish the project out, starting in May to get the underground storage tanks out of the ground. So we want to make sure that we make this transition as smooth as possible. My target date was to have them start in mid-April, but Scott is looking more towards the beginning of April, and then finishing with pavement when the asphalt is available due to weather.
Okay, Rick, thank you so much. It's clearer now.
Yep.
And how many
Anybody else?
tanks are there?
I'm sorry.
What was the
How many
question?
tanks are there?
Two
Mr. Ford,
tanks,
there's
right?
two tanks that are part of the project, and then there are, I think, up to 5 tanks that were abandoned back in the 80s and 90s that are, we're hoping not to touch. We don't want to remove those unless we absolutely are required to.
All right. Okay, anybody else? All right, next move would be on approval of the change orders.
We don't have any.
Nancy, I don't have my package here,
No,
so
we don't have any.
nothing at all. Okay, moving on then. Weston and Sampson, John, you have anything to say?
Really going out to do the check on the punch list is the next thing I need to do, and finish the closeout documents. I don't know if you want to talk now, Rick, about the underground storage tanks, or keep that as a separate individual item, but I can update you on where we stand with that on our end.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So what we want to do is we're putting a proposal together for kind of a limited screening of the area where we discovered the petroleum spill, and that was reported to DEEP. Similar to what the ESI put together, but we're trying to kind of get that down to the bare minimum of what we need to do. So we want to go out there, do some subsurface exploration, and check out the different levels to see if we are just talking about surface contamination that is likely from just surface spills over time, or if we need to go, how far down we need to go. So we're trying to quantify the limits of the area that is contaminated to get an idea of what the cost would be for eventually removal and disposal. So that's what we're doing right now. We're putting together, we think, a limited kind of exploration, subsurface exploration and testing to determine how far down the contamination is. So that we're not out there digging and following contamination blindly. And that goes back to kind of what Rick was bringing up about the funding source. But the hope is that we're not going to have to go deep in that the contamination, and the best hope is really at the surface and would require minimal removal and disposal. We're going to have that proposal together mid-week next week, and we can present that to the town at that point rather than wait till March. The goal is to have this kind of approved and get us out there early March, later this month or early March, so we can have an answer for the next committee meeting. And then,
Nancy, are we getting any push from the council as to where we are?
Financially?
Nancy,
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question, Barry.
is the council hounding us in any way as far as our schedule is going?
No, they have expressed concern at education and administration at the lack of any remaining funds. But no, they haven't really said much of anything about the schedule.
Okay, I only bring it up because I ran into the chairman of the committee last week, and he got interrupted as he was about to ask me something, and I was getting a little nervous about the whole thing. But he walked out, so I still don't know what he was talking about.
They are
Okay.
aware
I'm sorry.
they
I
are
didn't hear that.
there's been a delay in the removal of the tanks.
Okay. Okay, STV, any update?
No, nothing other than what we spoke about. I mean, right now, it's
Right.
just a matter of trying to get the last 3 rooms approved for occupancy, that we can go ahead and use those. And then there's a little downtime to plan to get the underground storage tanks out. So what I've been trying to do is, stretch way back to meetings every other week, and communication as needed in between. So that's where we are at the current state.
All right, sounds good. Any questions of STV? Okay, hearing none, let's move on and get the invoices and payments and things like that.
Yep, the first one is PDS's application for payment number 28 for $64,894.01.
So moved.
Second,
Moved and seconded. Any questions about the payment? Hearing none, all those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Motion carries, chair votes aye. Next,
There's another one for Environmental Systems Corporation. It's invoice 1186231. This is the final payment for the cameras and the licenses for the cameras for the security system. And Public Works has reviewed it and has said all of the equipment has been installed and is working.
motion. I'm sorry, motion to approve.
So moved.
So move, so move.
Second from someone.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Right, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries.
That's all I have.
That was easy.
Wow.
The only other thing I have on my schedule is the next two meetings, so. Unless anyone has anything additional, Mr. Alberti, you've been sitting there very quietly and nicely. Anything?
Nope, I
I
think
guess you
everyone
didn't
has
hear me.
covered it
Okay.
nicely,
Oh.
so I have nothing more at this point.
Very
One
good.
one thing, Ben, that we
Sure,
want
go ahead, Jeff.
to, as a committee, want to make sure that we're, whenever the meetings are scheduled, that we're on time and we're present so that we don't hold the contractors up, because if you hold the contractors up, that hold our job up. So we want to
Of
make
course.
sure that we're on time and we're doing our due diligence to make sure that we do what we have to do in order for the contractors to move this project along so that we can get it completed and out of the way from the town as well as the town council.
Good advice. Thank you, Jeff. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
And if you second it, you can leave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion is
Aye.
approved. Good evening, everybody.
Um,
Have a
Evening.
nice night, everyone.
Thanks, take care.